Much better performance tonight than we had the other night in Iowa, and that was good to see. Our ability to bounce back. I loved the first half, how we really tried to get out and push the pace and run in transition. I thought we got help from a lot of kids. Mac obviously had a very special night, and that was a tough matchup. That young lady is big and did a great job with, Mackenzie as far as not allowing anything easy. And so all of Mac's points just came off of whether she was in the right place at the right time, and her teammates found her. But Mac worked hard also to find ways to score the ball for us. I thought Sarah obviously looked good tonight. Sid, Yarden, I thought looked much better. Right now, Chloe is, doing a great job for us, but, she looked a little tired out there, I thought, tonight. And, a lot of that has to do with the fact that she has to guard the other team's best player, and then she has to come run our offense and push the pace. But happy we kept the turnovers under 10, or at 10, I guess. We were able to out-rebound them. That was one of the categories that we did want to win, since we haven't been rebounding the ball at the level we need to. But really proud of our guys and how we came back from a tough night the other night.
Teri, Mackenzie said, in talking about the last few days since the Iowa game, said that the film session coming out of that game was not particularly fun, and kind of just a lot of hard truths being thrown around. Just what did you kind of take for, what were you thinking just going into all of that? Like, what message were you really trying to send there? How did you see your team respond to that over the last few days coming out of the Iowa game?
Well, they responded. There were, we try to really pride ourselves in being truth tellers to our players, and I expect them to be truth tellers to each other as well. And, what caught me maybe during the moment and certainly after watching the game, Seth, I think I was more frustrated, yes, with the loss, but I just thought we underperformed. I thought we looked disconnected. I thought at times we looked uninspired, and that was frustrating. We didn't build this program on those things. We built this program on our toughness, our grittiness. In the early days when there were, 1,500, 2,000 people out there watching us, and we would come up short, one of the things that they would always say about Indiana women's basketball is although they lost the game, they played to the very end, right? This is a team that you got to show up because they're going to fight you tooth and nail, regardless of the talent, regardless of what's happening inside the game. They're always going to be that team. And, my frustration came in not seeing that. And I wanted to remind them of, how this thing has been built. And it's been built off of those things, those core beliefs that we gotta, regardless of the scoreboard, we're gonna play it out, and we're gonna end the game the right way. And so that was my message. Of course, there was things in the game that we watched that were teaching points. And again, the first half wasn't terrible. Now, the turnovers were not good, and that got us in a kind of a funky, there was no flow to the game for us offensively. But, we stayed there pretty close. And even at halftime, we were like, we're in a good position. Kate had to hit 2 really tough threes. What we can't do is come out, and we got to get the first stop, and we didn't do that. And then on the third, I just thought it was a terrible third quarter for us. So, like I said, it was a hard lesson to learn, but I think that we all listened to everything that everyone had to say about that experience. We flushed it, and we moved on.
Teri, you talked about today being a bounce-back performance, and then Mackenzie obviously said about learning from Iowa. I mean, tonight you guys shot 59% from the floor, 23 steals, 11 threes. Just how important is a performance like today just to sort of flip the page?
Yeah, and there's no doubt. We have to. We're a good basketball team. And we weren't the other night, but this is a really good basketball team when they're connected, when they're playing fast, when they're sharing the ball. when they are intentional about what their assignments are defensively, and they're really super focused on that. And so no doubt, we wanted to, and you guys have heard me say this before, when you have performances like we had the other night at Iowa, the best remedy for that is to get back on the floor as quickly as you can. And, I like I said, I liked their focus. I liked how they came out today and executed. Quite frankly, they executed the things that we've been talking about.
You guys were really able to contain Mara Braun, especially in that first half, held her scoreless. How
Right.
happy were you with that, and then just the defensive performance?
Yeah,
overall?
I thought Chloe obviously was, and maybe that's why Chloe was a little bit more fatigued looking in the second half, because she has to, expend so much energy on guarding, kids of her talent, and so I thought Lexi did also a great job, and so yeah, we were happy, but we knew the second half, she was still capable of coming out and, starting to heat up, in which she, we lost her on just a easy up screen off of 2 out of bounds, back-to-back plays. But, I thought for the most part we did a really good job at keeping her as quiet as we can, because, like I said, she's had some unbelievable performances for them. She's a really, really nice player. And, she's one of the best guards, I think, right now in the big.
You mentioned Yarden, said she was a little better tonight.
Yeah.
Has the foul trouble that she's been in kind of consistently in the first half kind of prevented her from sort of
Yeah, which kind of
finding the rhythm she needs to kind of get in?
Yeah, because she, I thought she looked, a little lighter on her feet than she has been. I feel like she's, she hasn't been moving as well. She hasn't been, playing with a lot of energy as of late. And I thought tonight she really came out and she kind of looked like she had a little bit of, pep in her step, and that was great to see. It's just unfortunate that she got herself in foul trouble, because, she was doing some really good things. I thought defensively, yes, but also being aggressive, offensively, and not turning the ball over. And so it was unfortunate that she did get in that foul trouble, because I do think we would have left her on the floor, and she would have, continued to, just show bright spots throughout.
Teri, at risk of you being asked this before, and you spoke about the fast break, there was that period at the end, towards the end of the first quarter, where I think Yarden had a cross-court pass to initiate the break.
Yeah.
Chloe had one. Mackenzie had a steal and initiated a break. And, of course, Sarah and Sydney are perfectly capable of doing the same. Mm-hmm. Can you illustrate the pressure that it puts on the opposing defense when you have 5 starters on the floor who can all initiate a fast
Right.
break?
Yeah. Todd, it's part of, what we do and what we practice every day and what we emphasize every day. And I do. I think it puts pressure on other teams. And we really preach made or misses. We want to get that thing out. And less dribbles, more passing up the sideline, across the street, as we call it. Mac's a fantastic runner. She puts a lot of pressure on defenses as well, because of her commitment to running the floor. And so, when they started to make a little bit of a run at us in the third quarter, I reminded them, like, this is what got us the lead. We got to, those rebounds, we got to get it, and we got to push the pace again. And so, I thought there was a couple minutes there in the third where we did that. But it was good to see, because we didn't have any of those the other night. It seemed like we were stuck in mud, for most of the game.
Coach, Sarah has been struggling kind of in Big Ten play as of late, 5 of 11 from 3 today. How important is it for her to get back on track for the team's success?
Yeah, it's extremely important. One of the things I think is that we pride ourselves in is the balance. We have so much confidence in her, and I'll continue to say it, so much confidence in Sid and Yarden and Chloe, and Bo, to be able to come in and shoot the ball. And so, yeah, it was great to see a couple of those go in tonight. You know, and we talked a lot about after the Iowa game, you know, when things aren't going well for us offensively, there's still another end of the floor that we have to be committed to playing. But you know, it was great to see, and some of those were in and out too. The one I think right before half, you know, we got her a good look, and it just kind of went in and out. But it was great to see.
Mackenzie was saying that the Iowa film session was tough, just with the nature of the loss. I'm kind of curious what it was kind of like to be in that room with the emotion, and if you held back at all.
Oh no, I never hold back. And it wasn't real. Yeah, was it spirited? No doubt. You know, but it needed to be said. You know, oftentimes I think, and we're a team that I think we have great chemistry. I think they're friends on and off the floor. But I do think that at times it's difficult to be able to tell your teammate exactly what you think and what they need to hear. And so that's what I'm here for. And so I'm able to tell them individually, remind them individually of their role and how important they are to this team, and remind them of what we need them to do and what the expectations are and what the standards are. And so that's really what it was about. You know, nobody, let me just make this clear. Yes, our staff was frustrated and disappointed, but so were those kids. You know, there's no doubt that they were not happy.